And now, our feature presentation.
To infinity and beyond!
My name's Bond. James Bond.
That'll do, Piggy.
Bad boys, what you gonna do?
Show you with the box. Who's in the box?
Damn! Ew! Get off of me! I'm in.
A lot of people go to college for 7 years.
I know. They're called doctors.
Houston, we have a problem.
Why is it not switching? There we go.
Switch already.
Whoa, look at you. Haircut, shave.
Face cut.
Hope nothing else is cut.
If you only knew.
If I only knew. Welcome in, everybody, to 52/1995. We are a live movie conversation podcast, if you didn't already know, by us being live here on Twitch, where we dive deep into the movies of 1995. I'm your host, Cody. I'm thrilled to be joined this week by my fantastic co-host, and it's his birthday week. Starting now. I'm officially saying birthday week starts today. Steven, welcome in, Steven.
But also, we got to give some room for celebration for our fathers.
I forgot completely. I mean, I didn't forget completely about it, but in this moment, I forgot that it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Happy Father's Day.
And
but yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited about the week. Turning 40.
40,
and,
big 4-0.
The big 4-0. So excited.
You're only 10 years older than the movies that we're talking about. So
yeah, I mean, and because of that, I've seen most of them, or like this one, I thought maybe I'd seen some of it, but after watching it, don't know that I'd ever seen a moment of it.
Speaking of dads, in this movie that we're going to be talking about, which let me go through my little spiel first.
Okay, do it.
For those who are tuning in for the very first time, and if you're joining us for the first time, you're probably not able to talk yet because I've got a little restriction on that. But just wait, and then you'll be able to talk. But we're glad that you're here. Every week, 52 of them, to be exact, we explore a different film from the year 1995. It could be, an action-packed thriller, or it could be a quirky gem. We don't know what it's going to be until that week. We dive into this year's important releases. We discuss them in detail, and then I chat with my co-host about their thoughts and experiences with the movie. And we usually do this on a theme by theme basis. Our June, as we're kicking off summer. Summer's usually full of blockbusters and action-packed movies. And our current theme this month is explosives and expletives. And today's movie of choice has its fair share of both. It is called Die Hard with a Vengeance. So now I'm going to go back to my little story. I have told many people, I've said it, on this podcast a few times, I've never seen Die Hard, which is crazy. I've never seen Die Hard 2. I have, and I've seen parts of Die Hard. Let me say that. I know enough about Die Hard to where if you were like, yeah, this part happens in the movie, I would be like, yeah, I know exactly what happens. So I'm fine. I've never actually sat down and watched it all the way through. But that's not
you probably know it more so from pop culture references.
Yes, 100%. I know everything. Like, I can tell you what happens in that movie. Just from everybody talking about it. So I've never watched it. Yeah. So I've never watched it. It's been a point of pride for me to never watch it. It's kind of stupid that I've never done it, but whatever. I decided this time I wasn't going to watch Die Hard or Die Hard 2. I was just going to go into this cold and watch it. I do have memory of this movie in particular. And the only reason I have memory of this is because my dad watched it on the television in their bedroom that they had. I mean, it's no bigger than that TV I've got back there. And I remember me walking in and seeing Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis in the car, and Samuel's just, unleashing F words. And my dad's like, you got to get out of here. You can't come in. You got to get out of here. But I do remember some F words in there, and Samuel L. Jackson being involved. And so shout out to my dad for trying to protect me from, bad words at that time. Little did he know I was probably flipping off my gym teacher at this point in school. So got him.
Got him. Man, I was thinking, I kind of scanned through his career, and I was wondering what Sam Jackson's like cleanest movie is.
Ooh.
Is there a movie where he's not like motherfucker this, motherfucker that?
I'm sure there's a kid. I mean, The Incredibles, if you count those.
No. One he's in. Because I don't think I've seen it if it exists.
I think let's see. The one that he is physically in. Let's just think about this a little bit. I feel like there's a movie with Brie Larson that's not Captain Marvel that he was in that is like a kid's movie.
He was he's like relatively tame in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But he's barely, like, if you think about it, he's not really in it that much.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. That's a good one.
Big, intense lines still, even though they're not, dirty in Jurassic.
Yeah.
Butts.
I mean, he doesn't get to unleash in like the Avengers, any of the Marvel stuff.
Star Wars.
I mean, honestly, there are no cuss words in Star Wars. So
I just remembered about him being Mace. So yeah, that's probably it.
Coach Carter. I mean, you remember Coach Carter?
Oh yeah. I remember Coach
Oh
Carter.
yeah, everybody knows Coach Carter. I mean, those are probably his cleanest movies.
Okay. Yeah, not to distract.
No. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
That's a good one. It goes into the Unicorn Store is the Brie Larson one. Is he in that?
He's the TJ dude.
Do the Right Thing. Yeah.
Man, if you go to his IMDb, you gotta, just in the stuff he's acted in, you gotta scroll.
Oh my
What a
gosh.
career.
What a career, for real. And I don't know about you, and I know you and I have talked about Samuel L. before because we did Pulp Fiction together. That's what's playing on the TV behind me, because it stars both of our main stars in this. But I love
huge fans of Deep Blue Sea.
I love Deep Blue Sea. LL Cool J, man, that song. That song at the end of that movie is incredible. I love Samuel L. Jackson. I can honestly say he's probably one of the performances that I have seen him. I love him in Django Unchained. I think he is incredible in Django and gets overlooked because of Leo in that movie and Jamie Foxx and the other, I can't think of his name right now. The other guy that was in Inglourious Bastards, but I think he gets overlooked in that movie a little bit. And Pulp Fiction, he's incredible. Jackie Brown, he's incredible. I think he's so good.
A lot of people credit him too with making doing commercials okay. Mm-hmm. Being more respectable. That Samuel L. kind of broke that mold, and when you did commercials at a certain time, it was looked down on.
Yeah.
And Samuel L. Jackson is one of the first that I feel like everybody else was looking at and was like, oh, if Samuel L. Jackson's doing it, then I guess that's okay.
Yeah.
Made it okay to do commercials.
Yeah, and I also, one of the things about Samuel L. Jackson that I really admire is he does yes, you scroll forever on his IMDb of movies that he's done, but he does so much and does so many different types of movies. It could be an action movie, it could be a Marvel movie, it could be a drama. There's a movie that he is in with Tommy Lee Jones, that I watched a couple years ago called the Sunset Limited, and it's about racial. It's got racial discrepancies or fighting between them, and they're both older men, and it really is. It's filmed like a play. So much it's just him and another guy and Tommy Lee Jones talking to each other right across the table from one another. It's really it's really good. And yeah. I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it. But if you're like, I want to watch something more quiet and something like that's a good one. I think he's a great actor. I think he is not scared to do insane, crazy roles like Snakes on a Plane or Deep Blue Sea or things that are just so dumb. But also will throw himself into everything. Like, and he'll even do the halftime show, like with Kendrick. So I love him. I think he's incredible. Now, what are your feelings on Bruce Willis?
Bruce is good, man. I really appreciate our pre-stream conversation, because I think I would have been sad if I would have gone back and watched 1 and 2 and then gotten to this one, because it has nothing to do. It's the other two, like, I think the only thing is required is like knowing who Holly is.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that,
yeah,
I mean, like, I don't think they have, and Hans, obviously, like knowing who
yeah,
Hans
you know, in the
is.
Hans. And the thing I was, in the research that I did for this movie is
I'm so sorry, Cody. I got to plug my laptop in. I'll be right back.
Oh, you're good, man.
I'm sorry. I forgot to charge it.
You're good. One of the things that I was going to say is that interesting thing about this movie and why I didn't feel the need to watch Die Hard 1 and Die Hard 2 is if you watch Die Hard 3, you get all the plot points that you need. You get the Hans Gruber of it all. You get the Holly of it all. You get all those things. And another like super interesting thing about this movie is that it really wasn't intended to be a Die Hard movie. And we might be poo-pooing on some like fun facts and everything, but this movie originally wasn't written to be a Die Hard. It was actually going to be a starring vehicle for Brandon Lee, who we watched last year in The Crow, and it was going to be called Simon Says. And that was going to be like it might have even been a sequel to an action movie that Brandon Lee had already been in that was kind of lesser known, but it got, Brandon Lee passed away. And then they were like, okay, what can we do with this script? It's kind of good. So let's turn it into a Lethal Weapon movie. And they tried to rewrite it as a Lethal Weapon movie and a Lethal Weapon series. And you can see that a little bit in like the bones of this. You got Samuel L. You got Bruce Willis. They could be the Danny Glover and the Mel Gibson of it all.
Oh yeah.
And then they were like, this isn't going to work. Like, let's try and, force this into a Die Hard movie, and let's write it about John McClane. And so you see, and I feel like you get to really see like, oh, this wasn't intended to be like this canonically accurate Die Hard movie that you need to know like all these bits and pieces about. Like you said, you get the Hans Gruber of it all, you get the Holly of it all, you're fine. You don't need the other two at all. You just need to know that the thing happened in Die Hard 1 at one point.
He has a wife. Her name is Holly.
Yeah.
And the bad guy in the first movie that he beat was Hans Gruber.
That's it.
Caught
That's
up.
all you need to know. You're caught up. They reference it like 4 times in this. And that's really all you need to know moving forward in this movie. And like I said, I think there are several plot points in this movie, and we'll get to it because I know we'll get to it. But that just seem kind of like forced in or pushed in, and like there's no conclusion. It doesn't really feel like there's a connection between the movies. It just kind of feels hollow in some points. But it's
another little fun thought I had was how many movies could be made into Die Hard movies if you make the white cop John McClane.
Well, that's what during this time after Die Hard 1, there were, I don't know how many, 50, 60 movies that all these studios were trying to do that were Die Hard and this. Die Hard, like Speed.
It's funny to think like Rush Hour, instead of Chris Tucker, it's John McClane and Jackie
John McClane
Chan.
and Jackie Chan.
Or John McClane and Chris Tucker.
Yeah.
The other guys. I'm spoiling some of my pairings for later on. But like, just how many movies, even the TV show Slow Horses, if you make Gary Oldman, John McClane old, it's like the Die Hard TV show.
Yeah,
like
that's exactly it.
Yeah, so that was kind of fun to think about too. Is like, how many movies could have been a Die Hard trilogy sequel of some kind if you just throw that name on top of it?
Yeah, so like Speed, which is probably one of my pairing, is Die Hard on a bus. You make
Die Hard on a bus.
Yeah, it's Keanu Reeves as John McClane at that point.
Yep.
And then you have some other, Jeff Daniels can stick around, whatever, and be in that movie. You think about any of the other action movies. We watched Crimson Tide. Crimson Tide could have been Die Hard on a submarine. What can you do?
I'll give it that it had the Die Hard elements of like, him bloody and shredded and
the wife
with
beater.
2 bullets and the wife beater barely surviving, which was like, that's what I remember from the first 2.
Yeah, exactly.
I still got the Die Hard vibes.
Yes. What's the other thing? What is it? The Workaholics guys made a movie for Netflix called Game Over Man. It's just Die Hard. That's all it is. It's just Die Hard with 3 idiots.
The prequel.
Yes.
The prequel.
It's just
when
Die
he
Hard
worked in an office. When John McClane worked in a call center.
Yippee-ki-yay, mother clucker. I just
It's
remember
Always Sunny does it.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like everybody. Surely The Simpsons, Family Guy, American Dad, Workaholics. It's Always Sunny have all made fun of Die Hard in some way.
Yes. Yeah. Well, let's talk about Die Hard a little bit. We've talked about it a little bit already, but let's do the stats and stuff around it. So Die Hard with a Vengeance is the 3rd movie in this franchise. It came out May 19th, 1995. It is directed by John McTiernan. We have seen John McTiernan before. I believe he did Last Action Hero, which we talked about on here before. And I'm trying to think if we've done anything else from him. He did the other Die Hards as well. Die Hard Hunt for Red October as another one that we've talked about, not necessarily.
Is another submarine movie
it's another.
Crimson Tide.
I disagree. I don't know. Last Action Hero, though, is the one that we've done on the show. And it was written by Jonathan Hensley. It stars Bruce Willis as John McClane, Jeremy Irons as Simon Peter Gruber, which was weird. Samuel L. Jackson as Zeus Carver, Graham Greene as Detective Joe Lambert, Colleen Camp as Detective Connie Kowalski, Larry Brigman as Inspector Walter Cobb, and there's a few other people's in here. Very young Aldous Hodge is in this movie as one of the nephews of Sam Jackson in this. Aldous Hodge is pretty. I mean, he's an up and coming actor, but he's been around for a while. He's 30. I think he's my age. I think he's 38. Anyway, this movie synopsis is Detective John McClane is now. It says divorced. He's not divorced, separated, alcoholic and jobless after getting fired for his reckless behavior and bad attitude. I think he's on suspension. He is called back into action, however, when a cryptic terrorist takes New York City hostage in a lethal game of Simon Says and refuses to speak with anyone but McClane. Teaming up with a street-savvy electrician named Zeus Carver, McClane dashes through the city trying to stay one step ahead of a murderous plot. This movie had a budget of $90 million and a box office return of $366 million. It is the #1 movie of 1995. So people love Die Hard. Rotten Tomatoes has this at a 60%, IMDb at 7.6 out of 10, and Letterboxd at 3.7. Roger Ebert gave it 3 out of 4 stars, and he said this is the kind of movie where toward the end you start looking for the kitchen sink. He's not wrong.
He is not wrong.
Barbara Creed of the Age magazine or Age newspaper says, if you're an action fan, you're going to love Die Hard with a Vengeance. All you need is a strong stomach and a penchant for masochism. If you can endure the pain threshold, you won't mind the glaring plot inconsistencies, woeful stereotyping, and banal story. Legacy of this movie, there are 2 sequels to this movie, Live Free or Die Hard and A Good Day to Die Hard. Those both came out probably within, like 2007 was the next one. So 12 years after this one. And then the other one came out in 2013, I believe. So, and then sadly.
2013 one, the one where he hits the helicopter with the motorcycle?
I think that's Live Free or Die Hard.
So
I think
that's not the most recent one.
No.
Okay, I still need to see. I think I've seen the motorcycle hitting the helicopter, And so if I see the most recent one, I think I will have completed the series.
The series, yeah.
Yeah.
That one with the motorcycle, that's the one with Justin Long in it, and I think Kevin Smith's in it too. It's more like techno terrorism or cyber terrorism. Like this series is wild. Techno terrorism is great. Yeah, so unfortunately, obviously the series is kind of dead unless they're going to remake it because unfortunately Bruce Willis has a form of dementia and has retired from acting. So a little sad when it comes to Bruce Willis.
They've got his image though, you know, they'll make another one.
Oh yeah, they would just AI this shit.
No, AI him in that shit.
Why not? Just do it. I think
all they gotta do is sign off on him.
I'm pretty sure, like, honestly, I think he might be one of the actors that did that and signed off on his likeness and everything.
Yeah, I mean,
so that
he was early enough, you know, like
Mhm.
I feel like there's gonna be a good chunk of actors that signed something before they knew how big of an impact it was going to make. On their career.
And I wonder if he signed it like one with not like his not like, hey, I know I'm sick and I'm not going to be able to do this anymore as long as like my family gets something for me, my image being out there or whatever. Maybe he's doing it that way. I don't know. I hope so. I hope he still gets credit if he does get his image used. So
that'd be so dangerous, man, because my mind just goes to the darkest place so fast where there's like basically Bruce Willis porn cameo where you can just like, you know, you just make a request because they can make whatever they want out of Bruce Willis's image. So you're just like cameoing Bruce Willis porn for yourself, you know.
Well, that's an idea that I might take it up on. $1 million idea.
I just know how selfish you are. Just share, okay? Just share.
You'll never let it in. You'll never let it in. And you know there is no like Bruce Willis lookalike because all of his children are his daughters, and they all look like Demi Moore. So
I mean, I feel like Jason Statham pretty fucking close.
Close. Too British though.
little AI, man, and that's Bruce Willis.
Did you? Okay, I know we're jumping around, and I'm jumping around a little bit, but did you struggle? And we've had this conversation so many times with you and everybody else. Did you struggle thinking of like a 2025 John McClane?
I mean, Jason Statham was the closest thing.
Yeah,
I could get.
but I mean, Jason Statham's like 50 something.
Yeah, I mean yes. There is no. It's kind of like I feel like. Maybe we've done a movie on. There's been a movie on here like Tom Hanks. Who do you replace Tom Hanks with?
It's crazy to think about like these kinds of guys, like
Harrison Ford,
Sylvester Stallone, Harrison Ford.
There's so few of those big actors. What is the movie that they're all in?
The Expendables.
The Expendables, yeah.
Yeah. Even Jason Statham's in there, and Bruce Willis. Yeah.
Stone Cold,
yeah. But no, I think about this all the time because like Bruce Willis and Tom Hanks and Tom Cruise and all these guys, like Tom Cruise is like the best looking one out of those guys, but like Bruce Willis is considered kind of a sex symbol in like the 90s as John McClane and in his action movies, but he's not like a gorgeous man by any means. He has thinning hair. I mean, he's balding on top. He's, you know, not like ripped to the gills or anything. And people find that sexy. I think people, again, this is the podcast of people are too good looking now.
Yeah.
It's so funny because like I thought that was Alyssa's comment. Because it pink. It shows up pink on the screen. I was like, "Damn, Alyssa!" Tom Cruise looks like a ball bag.
Wow!
But these guys are aging out, and we don't.
Yeah, all those guys, and I think a good portion of them have tried to use the means, use some things to try to fight it, and it's made it worse. So yeah, but Tom Cruise, man, the fact that he's still doing it. And doing crazier shit, you know. I don't know that I'd love him as a person, but what a hard-working fella.
Yeah, dude just loves to work, loves to throw his butt. Like, if he doesn't die in an accident on a movie set, I don't think he should. Like, if he dies in a regular ass way, it'll be for nothing. I think. Like,
Yeah, I think that's what he's trying to do, man.
Yeah,
Like,
I
he
mean,
wants to go out in some crazy thing, and that be his legacy.
Yeah, I've heard that Bruce Willis is a dick face in real life as well. Not a fun person to work with. Kevin Smith is on record of saying that many times in his podcasts and in his specials and everything. So it is what it is. But Bruce Willis worked with Samuel L. and they got along enough, I guess. So it worked out for him.
Yeah, I think we'll get to the fun facts later, but man, I think Sam L was excited about being in a Die Hard movie. But.
Yeah, there were so many fun facts that I was like, oh, we can kind of breeze through everything else. The fun facts are the best part. But let's talk about the movie. Let's talk about the scenes that really stood out, that make this film memorable or crazy or whatever we have whatever our opinion is.
Man, I feel like we had one other movie, but I couldn't think of what it was. Maybe you could help me. That was so easy to sum up in 5 scenes. There was another one you and I did that it was like, man, this movie was easy to sum up in 5 scenes.
Yeah, because that's like all it is.
Yeah. It reminded me of that, but I couldn't recall which one it was.
I'll have to go back and look.
Don't worry about it.
So let's start with you. I'm sure we have very similar. I only wrote down 4 scenes, to be honest with you. Because there are some scenes in here that I was like, I don't know. But what was your first one?
Meeting Simon and Zeus.
Yeah, I put the bombing is a good place to start, but then like immediately John in Harlem and meeting Zeus. That's the first thing that I had written down.
Yeah, because we meet Simon because he blows up the subway first, right? No.
Yes. No, he blows up a department store.
Blows up the department store. So we meet Simon that way because he's the voice on the phone. And then we meet Zeus because Simon demands that McClane goes out with the racial slurs on the sign, which was so, man, like, just, I think you and I agree, first half of this movie is like pretty solid.
Yeah,
maybe like especially the first, I don't know, 1/3. I didn't really know what to expect, and I wasn't too disappointed by it. So. Yeah, I've got meeting Simon through the phone, and then meeting Zeus because he defends McClane, kind of saves him, straight to the first bomb. Like I think you probably could define this movie by the 4 bombs.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true. I was like that bombing, subway bombing. I did like the tunnel and then the boat at the end. So I missed the third. I missed the school bomb. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about tunnel bomb. There are just bombs everywhere in this freaking thing. Yeah, you're right though. When you said like the first third of this movie is great, like I loved it. I was in, and it gave me the Alyssa already said like it felt so much like Speed. It did. I love the concept of like the Simon Says stuff, making John McClane and Zeus like jump through hurdles to try and figure out, like, I loved that. And I was like, why did it stop?
It's such a perfect role for Samuel L. Jackson because like from the get-go, he's pissed.
Yeah.
He's being drug along the whole time. And so it's just such a perfect role for his like personality.
Yes, just yelling.
Like, fuck, like the whole way through. I love it.
Man, I love when he's talking to his nephews and they're like, who do you not trust? And they're like, the white man.
The white man. Right, now go to school. Yeah, like the gallons of water puzzle. Like that stuff's good. Yeah. And then for the last half of the movie, does not mean anything. None of it meant anything.
with the.
Yeah, it was almost like they ran out of money or time or something.
They just ran out of good things for them to figure out.
They ran out of good movie.
Yeah, that's so true. It's like, let's just see what we can shoot John McClane out of, and it'll be great. Let's see how many Christmas references we can make in this movie. So
yeah, we'll get to it, but yeah, there's really one scene in particular where I was like, all right, enough with this.
I think I know.
We'll
I think I know
there.
so much.
We'll
yeah, so he meets Zeus. The train bomb is the next scene, and they basically it's great. I love it so much. I was asking myself, I was like, how did you film this? How did you film a car going through Central Park?
Yep.
And just driving through Central Park.
One of the best things about the entire movie, again, besides the back 1/3, is the cinematography. I think is really impressive. I liked the way it was shot. In that first third, the way it was shot was really impressive. There's a lot of 360 shots and action shots, like you said, driving through Central Park, dodging people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the choreography of all that, even when we get to them, like the choreography of all those like trucks driving in and out, and all the people unloading, and that all being in New York, seemingly.
Yeah.
Like, man, yeah, very impressive cinematography.
It was, and there were, I think, all what you're saying, and then like I think there were even some like handheld moments, like in the cars when they're doing their little driving and everything. Like it makes it so much more like frenetic and stressful, really. And that's what it's. There's a lot of timing stuff. You got to make it here in 15 minutes. You got to make it here in 20 minutes. Like. And yes, the subway wrecks that chat just mentioned. Like, how did you film that?
The train folding up in the subway,
yeah,
like that, and people running out of the way. Like, man, it was good. It was really good until it wasn't.
Until it wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, the train, I really enjoyed the train section of this. It has some good elements in it, not just them driving across New York and going through Central Park and almost killing they would have killed so many people just the way they're driving. But like splitting them up and John being on the train and trying to find the bomb, and then Samuel L. being at the phone, and then you got the cop who's like, hey, that guy's a criminal, let me stop him. It's good. It's really good.
I definitely started counting how many times John McClane would be dead.
Oh, so many times.
So dead. From the sign on. It's like, those dudes, they've noticed long before. Like you are not on that corner that long with that many dudes down the road and don't get noticed with that sign on. Like, you're dead. Okay, so death number 1. Train bomb, easy death number 2, because he's like, I'm throwing it out the back. Boom.
Boom, yeah. And then he just like is laughing as he gets out of the train. Yeah. Oh man. No, there is one thing that pisses me off in this movie, and it happens a couple times. It happens with him wearing the sign, and it happens later in the tunnel scenes. But like the positioning of John McClane to where, like, one, the guy who notices John wearing that sign is not should not see what he's wearing. Yeah. At that point, any other time they should have noticed, and everybody would have noticed. And it makes me so mad that the guy that goes out in the middle of the street is the one that's like, hey, I don't like that sign.
Wait a second.
Hey guys, look at this sign. And like Samuel L. Jackson standing right in front of him. It's crazy.
And yeah, I think they're both dead.
Yeah,
they're both dead. You step in the way of that sign and you're dead, especially in 2025.
Also with the sign scene, like Samuel L. pulls that gun off the back of John McClane, but he's already said those guys have 10 guns. Like, you've got a gun, they've got 10. None of them pull a gun.
Yeah, that's also a 6-shooter. So
there's
more than 6 of them.
I also think it's so funny that they tape tape a gun to his back. Like, oh yeah, guys,
That's Die Hard.
you
They
remember
were like,
this
"We
in Die
gotta-
Hard 1? You remember
We're
that?
gonna pay tribute to Die Hard 1. Let's tape a gun on his back.
Every time you say McClane, I keep thinking of John McCain, and that would be a very different movie. Yes, it would. Yes, it would. No, he's a good. That Obama, he's a good man. He's a good man. That's what
That Hans Gruber, he's a good man.
Now, don't you say that about Hans Gruber. He's a good man.
He's a good man.
No, the chat. Yeah, the subway wreck looked so real. I was very impressed with that. John McCain would have got caught. I don't like my heroes to get caught. They're not heroes then. All right, chat. You're unhinged today. It's great. I love it. I love the energy.
Love the energy.
I love that for everybody here. No, the subway wreck looked so awesome. Yes, we already acknowledged that you came in late to the stream. I did notice that, Sir Garlet. So we already acknowledged that I have not seen Die Hard 1, but I know everything about it. Quiz me, baby. I know it. All right, what's the third bomb?
Well, I did put like a little asterisk that we find out, and I think we've already mentioned it. You know, like after train bomb, McClane and I think Zeus end up with like CIA, FBI in the car. You know, that scene. And man, that scene, they really drugged that out with the like ominous guy in the back seat. Like so unnecessary.
Yes, it doesn't make any sense. It's so dumb.
It's like, hey, wait, we're going to wait till the last second. Like versus you could have gotten in the car and been like, hey, you know that guy that's trying to kill you? That's Hans Gruber's brother. That's why he's trying to kill you. There's like 5 minutes of like back and forth before the guy in the back seat talks. And never comes back in the movie.
Nope, never comes back up. It seems so forced and just a way for them to be like, this is Hans Gruber's brother.
So I think this is my first moment, Cody. Where that's why it has to be brought up. Is I'm like, all right,
yeah,
all right. Hold on, this was good. This was really good. And now this scene was the first one that was like, what are you guys doing?
I think once this
Killing
movie
time?
ceases. Yeah, I think once this movie ceases to be a revenge movie anymore, and like that all takes a back burner and becomes a heist movie and like a thief movie, like they're just stealing, I think it gets worse. And
there's too much. It's too much. It's like, let's just go straight revenge.
Yes, it's a much better movie if he is just like, I'm pissed at you, you killed my brother, and I'm going to make you pay with all these like games and stuff. I'm going to have you running all over New York and trying to do these riddles and everything. And it just gives up after this point in the movie with where he learns all that information. It's just, it goes away. Even the last, even the last clue that he gives him about going to Yankee Stadium and everything ends up being so useless and stupid and just pointless. And he sends Zeus to go to Yankee Stadium, and it's just a thing that says game over. And there's two guys like in a box seat that are just getting ready to shoot John McClane. I guess that's where
the movie starts to take a turn. I'm glad he brought up Saw, because when he does say, I want to play a game, I was like, is that where they got that from?
Maybe.
The Saw is Jigsaw shouting out Die Hard 3.
Mm-hmm. There's also a Fincher movie that does this too. It's called The Game.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, The Game with Michael Douglas. Yeah. So once this becomes not a revenge movie and becomes like just thief action movie.
That's a good point, because then we get two movies now, right? And like it's now split between School Bomb, which is the distraction.
Yeah.
Which like what a nightmare even now still. To say in like a whole, like, what did they say? Like 6,000 schools?
Oh, yeah. It was something crazy. So many schools.
It was thousands for sure. To be like, hey, there's a bomb in one of them.
Good luck.
And if you evacuate, we'll blow it up immediately. So, and what's important there too is like, you can now no longer use your channel because your police like walkie-talkies could set it off.
I wish that would have I like that. I wish that would have had any impact on this movie.
Right, because the only thing that it does is then we get a scene at the local phone place where they're like, yeah, we got to take care of all the police stuff now.
That's it. It doesn't mean anything. All that phone line stuff is stupid.
I kept thinking they're gonna bring that back. The fact that the police couldn't use their walkie-talkies and all that, they were gonna. And then it's the plot is so see-through. So for the rest of the movie, I was like, I need to remember that because this has been pretty good so far. They're gonna bring that back, that everything's going through the phone lines instead of the walkie-talkies. Nope, not important.
And this is an opportunity for the movie to do a Speed-like thing, in Speed, where they're like, nobody can leave the bus, and then that older woman is tries to leave the bus, and then he blows up the steps on her and says, all right, that's your thing. So if somebody uses a police scanner or police radio or whatever, blow something up and be like, I told you, I warned you.
Yep.
I know that's asking for more violence and explosions, but have some kind of repercussion to be like, guys, we can't do this. Because
the thing is too, say those numbers, if we said 6,000 schools, I'm pretty sure they said 6,000 and something, blah, blah, blah. Let's say 5,000. And there's only 10 kids in every school. That's 50,000 kids.
Yeah.
We're evacuating. Sorry. Every other school, there may be a bomb in one, but every other kid's got to get out.
Yeah.
And that's what happens, in real life. But yeah, that is a nightmare scenario. And that really maybe was the thing that I was like, okay, I like this. And then they're digging through the gold, and getting all the gold. And I was like, okay, all right.
It seemed too convoluted, too
everything. And the only person in New York that's I think this is a distraction.
Yeah.
Is John McClane.
It's John McClane. You know what's not at Wall Street? Schools. School. Yeah, so they steal all that money with all those dump trucks that were mentioned earlier in the movie. 14 dump trucks that go missing.
That was good, right?
That was good. I like that callback.
There was enough time on the dump trucks that I was like, that's going to be important.
Yeah. I liked it in the beginning, even when he was like, it's an insurance scam. Those things are already in there. That's what you look into. And they're like, oh, yeah, we should, look into that. And I was like, that shows that, John McClane's a good cop and that he's a good investigator. He kind of knows things. He's like, yeah, the same thing happened in Jersey a couple years ago. I liked that. And then it ends up, that's good writing. That's good writing.
I agree. It's the same thing when a comedian does a callback.
Yep.
Right. It's you're like, hey, that dump truck thing, that was important now. But what we've been discussing for the last 10 minutes is all this stuff that's not important. The walkie-talkies and the phone lines, what, and the car with the CIA and the FBI and Hans Gruber's brother, you're talking about 30 minutes of just filler is what I would call it. And that's where it's hard to come back from that.
Even him going into the bank or to the exchange or whatever it is, and doing that whole fight scene, I liked it, but it just felt so long and drawn out. Yeah. And I was like, okay, you're losing me a little bit here.
Yeah. And this, this place with $140 billion worth of gold in the basement.
So much.
It's hey, there was an explosion this morning, but come on in.
Come on in. We don't have extra security or anything. It's just two guys that are
we've got all the money in the basement, but you know what? Come on in, fellas.
You're cops. Come on. You guys aren't just tall white dudes.
Log or whatever he was calling him, some clearly made up name.
Just come on in, everybody. And it was also weird how they chose who they were going to kill and who they were just going to stun gun.
Yeah. This is where the turn happens.
Yeah, this is the turn.
You know, then what I've got next scene is Tunnel Time.
Tunnel Time, which is maybe the wackiest part of the whole movie.
Like, you know, because what was it? It wasn't Junior, obviously. What was the other Arnold Schwarzenegger like action movie we talked about? You and I.
Last Action Hero?
Not that one. There was another one that was even more ridiculous. Like at the beginning, he pops up through the ice.
Oh, it's True Lies.
True Lies. Yes. This was reminiscent of True Lies.
Yeah.
Where it's like one dude going in against everybody. You know, this is like
this is where my other problem comes with the scene where he's like stopped the truck, like there's a truck right in front of him and he has the gun and he's like, "Hey guys, I'm just a construction worker." And he is back. Like he is almost behind the truck when he's saying all this stuff. And then all of a sudden these guys get shot like somebody was standing in front of them shooting them. I was like, none of this is physically possible. And it pissed me off. So I was like,
and that's okay. That's okay. Like I think that's what we landed on in True Lies is if it's like so absurd that you start to expect it. And that's what the movie is.
Oh, then
from the jump. But that's not what this was from the jump.
No.
It was a good movie.
Yeah.
And
You're
then
right.
it gets more and more ridiculous. And then it slips more and more to True Lies. And so it's like, could it have been a better movie had it been just absurd from the get-go?
Maybe.
Yeah.
But this is like where he's like like they blow the tunnel and the water starts flooding the tunnel and he's like surfing it or whatever. And then he grabs onto the ladder or whatever that's gonna let him out. And you're like, that would rip his arms off because of how much force is coming through with this. Nope, he's fine.
And there was an opportunity in that moment for like some real tension too. Because he's like holding on and it's flooding and like filling up. You know, kind of, but it was just like,
well, let's just shoot
the opportunity for real tension was like, yeah, all right, we're done.
Yeah, let's just shoot him out of the hole like a blowhole out of a whale, Jonah style. Let's get rid of him. And we're just shooting him out. And then luckily, Zeus is driving by at the exact same time. So we get to see John McClane shot out of a blowhole and Zeus stop and come get him.
Which is like when Arnold Schwarzenegger gets to the bottom of that hill after he skis through and shoots backwards at a bunch of
And Tom Arnold's there at the bottom.
And he just pulls up and picks him up.
Yeah.
So now we've shifted into full blown like, all right, whatever, guys.
Yeah, let's end this thing. Let's get crazy.
Yeah, we gotta finish it now.
Let's put him on a boat. That's the next bomb.
Oh, but wait, how are they gonna get on the boat?
Oh, they're gonna jump. I love Samuel L. Jackson's just like, I can make it. Like he's so serious. I can
let me
it.
jump, bro.
I can
let me jump, bro. It's only 100 feet.
It's like, no, and then John McClane is the voice of reason here. He's like, no, you'll die. Like you're an idiot. We're gonna do this thing.
Another thing I thought about is how different this car chase, like leading to the bridge, where they're on the bridge talking about jumping on the boat. That car chase, like one of my favorite things, and like I've got another like what the fuck or laugh out loud.
Oh my god,
for
all
sure,
the what the fuck
is like
long.
In this car chase, they flip and they wreck, and Samuel L. Jackson's what happened, and this truck is so stuck
and didn't like
spinning tires, spinning mud everywhere. And the next shot is them driving that truck.
Yes, and those guys are dead. The other two guys they're dead.
They're dead.
We're
They're
fine.
Just died in the crash.
I love it. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm interrogating him. What's he gonna say? I'm dead.
We're full blown slipping into just like let's make it silly now.
Just go crazy. Yeah, how they get on the boat with the like the cables getting onto the boat, and then
you've seen one of those in real life, right?
The what?
When you were in Arkansas long enough, one of those hitches where like the cable pulls out.
Yeah.
Step one, what does he do? He pulls that. Well, first of all, Samuel L. Jackson's talking about jumping off.
Which is
Ridiculous. And he's like, wait. There's a cable on the front of the truck. I got this.
Yeah, just catch it like he's fishing.
Got it.
Nailed it.
And then all of a sudden we've got gloves and we're like on this thing.
I thought they would like zip line down because I'm like, you guys don't have that big of a window. This thing is moving.
And you see the guy down there.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a submachine gun.
But he doesn't know that truck's coming off that
We're gonna cliffhanger this across instead of like
zip line down. We're ridiculous, but we're not too ridiculous. Let's have them.
And then we get just maybe the highlight of the entire film because my thought was, and it didn't happen quick enough, right? Because I was like, when is the truck's cable gonna run out? It goes on for so long, and then finally it's like, all right, it's running out. Pulls the truck off, slices the guy in half.
Incredible. And not only does it slice him in half, when we see John McClane and Zeus, fall probably half of what they would have fallen, they're dragging both sides of the body.
Side by side.
And also, what's the point of dragging that body away? Who's gonna see it? Do they think that's gonna get them caught on this boat where they obviously just go in there and they're like, hey, I'm here, by the way. Hey, I'm Zeus. Remember me?
And this is when we shift into Bruce Willis, John McClane, Die Hard mode. Because he's sliced up now. He's in the tank top. He's beaten and battered. He's barefoot. He's just he's full blown Die Hard 1.
We also have an undisclosed injury that he is just bleeding profusely from that we don't know about. No, that we don't know about.
He doesn't say anything. Zeus doesn't say anything. But it becomes real important.
Really important. Like you don't realize what it is, and you're like, "That's what it was, man." You got a paperclip wedged in your arm. Like that was it.
There's
John McClane.
There's some really important things that happen. It's like you have got a completely perfect, straightened out paperclip in your arm, and you got to say one thing to the bad guy you've been chasing this whole time, and it was, hey, you got any aspirin? Which is going to also be really fucking important later.
Insanely important. Yeah, the whole John McClane having a really bad headache and a really bad hangover over and over
I put that as one of my favorite quotes because it's just, that's when, like, by the 8th time, it's like, all right, this is what it was always going to be. Y'all accidentally made 1/3 of a good movie.
It's
oops.
Yeah. This is also there are 3 bad guys in this movie, right? And 2 of them don't really matter at all. And one of them certainly doesn't matter.
It's important because we get a little sex, right?
Yeah. Which is an insane, fun fact that I pulled. That's so dumb. Like, why did we need this girl to not talk and then have sex with Simon Gruber later? Like, so stupid.
Oh yeah.
Did you have the stuff in Canada at the border or whatever? Did you have that scene?
I had, we find out we got to mention the guy, who's trying. I really liked Charlie, who was like, he threw the paper clip early on and exploded, and he's trying to defuse the bomb when they find it at the school because who's the 21st president? And
Ray Arthur, yeah.
The aspirin tells them they're in Canada, and he goes and kills them. That's how it ends. And he should really call his wife, even though he hasn't called her in months and months. And man, talk about just a crash landing of an ending.
So just anticlimactic.
Throw Holly in.
Yeah.
maybe at the end of the movie, like a whole new man.
Those guys
Yeah,
are at the border. We don't get any transition to it. We don't get any chase down. We don't get any of that. He just thanks to that aspirin. And then we get a very lackluster ending. And yeah, of course he gets to say yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. But like, it's so lame.
In the weirdest way.
It's very lame.
It's like a kid that heard it and was like trying to use it at school for the first time.
Yeah. it's a lot like, and why is Zeus still there? Like, why did he have to go?
The whole time, I do appreciate his banter and like him commenting on everything. That's great and all, but like, dude's injured and just flying to Canada to be like, ha ha ha, we caught you, bitches.
Yeah, that's really it. You got him, McClane. Yeah.
You got him, McClane. Look at him run. Ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Ha, ha. Like, just.
I do like that he calls Holly at one point and just leaves her because of the aspirin. He leaves her on hold. Great.
Like, man, you could have probably done both.
Yeah.
Probably. If you were a mature adult, you could have probably done both, but he's John McClane and he's hadn't had a drink since this morning. You know?
Got it, man. All right. So who's your favorite character?
Gotta be Zeus.
Yeah, I put Zeus too. I put Simon as like a little side note. I liked Simon a little bit. Like there were times when I was like, oh, he's being very funny.
Favorite character is Zeus. My scene stealer is we get more Charlie, and I really like him.
That guy was so eager to be involved with a bomb. He was just like, guys, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah, I love the bomb nerd. I thought he was great. And like, man, you give him 3-4 more scenes, and he's my like favorite character. Because he was just so like, and then, you know, he's not a bad guy. He's just a nerd. And like, he stays because he finds out there's more kids in the building. And like, man, that dude was cool.
Yeah.
And then the stuff hits him and he's, what does he say? Like, pancake syrup.
Pancake syrup. Yeah. Pancake syrup. That's what it was. Which kind of pisses me off because like it's a little bit like you're rooting for Charlie at that moment. He's staying because he wants to protect those kids. You want him to make that heroic moment to where it's not pancake syrup, like it was an actual bomb or something, and he stops.
Yeah, it didn't seem like. Cool. I think that's what was also weird about it is like from all the explanation of what the bomb was. It didn't seem like the kind of bomb that could be stopped by cutting wires.
Yeah. It was interesting. And also, if it was that easy.
That's every other movie. Like, cut the red one, cut the blue one. Like, that shit's mixing, bro. All it's got to do is, like, get a little poke and you're.
But if that's the way, because you see McClane do it on the boat, like, why haven't we thought about this the whole time? Let's just take the liquid out of one of these things. It's not going to mix that way.
Yeah,
we're good.
Because McClane is the only one that even has half a brain because he's so hungover, bro.
Stay drunk. Stay drunk. Yeah. All right, let's talk about some of our favorite quotes. I tried to rein it in on this one too, like a little bit, but what do you got for some of the favorite quotes?
Nothing, man. I really don't have much, so I'm gonna let you kind of run this one. But like, man, I loved a little bit about him being like, "Hey, man, why you keep calling me Jesus?"
That's my first one.
That was the first thing that made me kind of like, and that's why the first part is so good. That made me laugh out loud, like the way he was like, hey, because he was saying, "Hey, Zeus." I thought that was really.
It was very funny. I like Zeus's response though. He's like, Zeus. He says, "Yeah, Zeus, as in father of Apollo, Mount Olympus. Don't fuck with me, or I'll shove a lightning bolt up your ass, Zeus. You got a problem with that?" I love that. Like,
God, I didn't see anything in Fun Facts is like that. They just let Samuel L. Jackson do his thing because otherwise that was written for him.
Yeah.
That is him improvising, or that was written for him.
Yeah, I think they probably let him go and be like, "Hey, react. Just be you. Just do whatever you want here." What else you got?
Let's see. I like when they're trying to figure out who the 21st president is, and they've taken that guy's guy, and they're like, lean out the window, who's the 21st president? And the guy's like, go fuck yourself.
It's so funny.
That one got me too.
Yeah.
That was another favorite quote. Go fuck yourself.
Oh man, I love when John McClane is like, when Zeus is asking him about the thing in LA, he's like, yeah, I'm famous for this thing in LA for like 5 minutes. And Zeus goes with, don't tell me, Rodney King, right? Like he was the cop that beat Rodney King. He's like, don't tell me, Rodney King.
Don't tell me, Rodney King.
What else?
Man. I feel like that's part of the good of this movie is kind of the like racial back and forth between Bruce Willis and Samuel L. Jackson.
Some of it is, and then like it gets really weird at other times. I'm like, what is this? What are we trying to accomplish here?
Yeah, I don't know that I ever felt weird about it. I liked when he was like, you know how to pick this lock?
He's like, yeah, just because I'm black doesn't mean I can pick locks.
Is this some black shit again? Hey,
not every brother
like,
knows how to fire a gun. Like,
hey, will you stop with the racial shit? Are you a fucking locksmith or not?
I also like it too because, well, there was the one point, I think it's in the park with that bomb, with the water bomb or whatever, where he's like, you dumb mother, and he's like, you were gonna call me the N-word, weren't you? And I was like, no, that's not what comes after mother. Like, you idiot.
I kind of love like, I don't remember it getting weird for me because to me it's a great depiction of somebody who's like not the stereotype on both sides, who is being treated like the stereotype, being defensive of that. It's like that butting heads of that. And
I think it's the time in the cab when he has the guy that gets in the cab. He's like, what, do you not like white people? And he was like, oh, I'll get you there. I'll drive you. What, do you not like white people?
Even that I thought was like, yeah, it's pretty good.
It leads to a comedic moment. Yeah. I do think that the chemistry between Zeus and John McClane is really good. Like, they're funny together. They both have good comedy chops and good timing and everything. So I'm with them on that. What other lines you got?
Last one I've got is the only serious one, which is I'm not a monster, though I do sometimes work for monsters.
Yeah. Because he was never
going
to
that feels. Yeah, I know how that feels.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
I had when he was like, hey, we're going to be back to pick you up in 15 minutes. And John McClane says, take your time. I expect to be dead in 4. He's so pissed.
Yeah, because at that point, you don't know what the sign says.
Yeah, you don't at all, which is.
But he knows, which is like, oh, yeah. I would have said 1.
I had a serious one, too, where Zeus... They're like, hey, thanks for saving me. He's like, oh, I didn't. I stopped a white cop from getting killed in Harlem. 1 white cop gets killed today. Tomorrow we got 1,000 white cops, all of them with itchy trigger fingers. Got it? And I was like, ooh, too soon. Or like too true. Didn't like that. True. I have one with Simon. Whenever Simon is becoming the city engineer and he's like super like white American guy, he's like, holy Toledo, somebody had fun. I thought that was funny. That made me laugh.
Man, Jeremy Irons was solid in this movie.
Love him. He's so good. Another part, John McClane says, cheer up, things could be worse. I was working on a nice fat suspension, smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo, which is a reference to the song that is playing in the car when in Pulp Fiction. It's smoking cigarettes and watching Captain Kangaroo. That's the song that's playing. So nice little throwback.
See, man, they tried so hard to make a good movie.
They tried. All right, biggest laugh, cry, scare, or thrill?
I think to me the biggest thrill of this movie was the sign. You know, it's 2025, man. That's a no-no. I didn't know what was coming at all. And so when they showed the sign, I was like, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, ooh, this is a good way to start this thing. You're like 5 minutes into this movie and you already see a sign that says that. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was it for me.
Yeah. For Thrill, the school thing, like I was just, what are we gonna do with this after all? Yeah.
If they did that in Nashville, it'd be the same. Like in 2025, it would be equally as threatening, I think, and as scary. Like that's a crazy thought to make one phone call and be like, hey, there's a bomb in one school.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good one.
Any other big laugh, big cry, big scares? I mean,
nothing that we haven't already talked about.
Mine goes right into our WTFs if we haven't listed them. But John McClane flying out of the pipe had me rolling. When he just flies out of that geyser and Zeus is driving by, I laughed very hard.
So we haven't talked about it yet, but Natalia only watched the last 1/3 of this movie.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And probably within the first few minutes of that 1/3 was the cable slice. And she said out loud, "What the fuck?" And so I had to put it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think, like, I don't know. I'm not a physicist, man. But, like, I know those cables can do that. But, like, I don't think with truck, it's attached to the truck and the thing he lassoed.
Yeah.
And the truck hits the water.
I'm telling you.
But somehow it, like,
slices.
samurai swords him in half.
Again, they don't matter. Positioning does not matter on any of this movie.
Yeah.
I'm behind you and I'm shooting you in the front. Yeah.
A lot of the CGI in that moment too was
the water
terrible.
CGI was terrible too. That was really bad. The first thing that I
After
wrote,
some great cinematography. I hate shitty CGI when the cinematography is great. Sinners.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the snake.
The snake. The CGI snake was a mistake. Sinners. Almost a perfect movie. Anyway.
The first thing that I wrote down was 5 minutes into this movie, and I said it's the first bomb that goes off. And no one runs away. Everybody's just looked like
it's New York, man. It's New York. Whatever.
I just think about like 9/11. I think about some of the, and like people are scared and running away. I thought of the Boston bombing, the marathon bombing, and I was like, those people are scared. They're running away. Not this. Nope. Not New York. Nope. They're just like, oh.
It happens every Tuesday.
Yeah. That was my first thing. I was like, what is going on here?
The cable slice is the best part of the movie if it's absurd from the beginning.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the highlight. So
also, I thought it was ridiculous that, like, I don't feel like Jeremy Irons really cared that much about his brother dying. Like, I got mixed messaging on that a lot.
It was too much, man. And I bet there were things shot, edited out for time that would have been better.
That's the part I think I'm like, okay, this was you trying to make a Die Hard movie out of another movie.
And then to double down and be like, I'm burying the gold. Not really. Like,
yeah, none of
all right. Do you care about your brother or the gold?
Yeah, what is it? And like then you have the other couple in here, the bomb maker and like his mute wife that was supposed to be dead, but she's not talking and she's okay that he dies. Like there was a lot there that was so stupid.
Yeah.
We already talked about the Canada, like that, all that stuff was just kind of shoehorned in at the end and not great. The bridge, the tunnel. Yeah, it was all bad. Anything else that we might have missed?
I think that's it, man.
All right, best music moment or score?
That Ode to Joy was pretty cool.
Ode to Joy,
Beethoven.
Oh, okay.
Which is like kind of like the Die Hard theme. It was like a blending. It was pretty cool. And then that Summer in the City song.
Summer in the City was the one that I had written down. I was like when Johnny Comes Marching Home was in this movie so many times. Like I think it was in there twice. I say so many times. But
I added that Somewhere in the City to a playlist because I like that song enough, man. Like that's a
Somewhere
vibe.
in the City, and it's cool when it comes after Die Hard with a vengeance.
And the cinematography in that moment is cool too.
Yeah.
Like, man, they tried.
Yeah. All right. F, Marry, Kill. There's not a really good one here, but I'll go with our three main characters, which is Zeus, John McClane, and Simple Simon was a pieman. Simon.
Gee, that's a tough one. It's a tough one. Not having any. Let's see.
Is Zeus single? Do we think?
Yeah, I mean, we're not introduced to a wife, so I'll assume he's single. Yeah, I think I kill John McClane.
You can't, man. It's impossible.
He's a
Not a good partner.
cop. Good cop, bad husband.
Yeah.
So kill him off, and then I think I marry Simon, man, because I like the aspiration. Is that we either go out with 140 billion or we die.
He's got goals. He's got a 5-year plan.
Yeah, and I think the sass from Samuel L. in the movie could be transferred to the bedroom. So, yeah.
I like
Zeus, kill John McClane, marry Simon.
I like it. I think that's what I'm going with. I think I like that because I think that Simon is like, he obviously got the girl. He's the only one that we see that gets the girl in there, and I think I'm with you. I think I agree on all aspects of your
he's
decision.
the best looking.
Simon? Jeremy Irons?
Yeah. In this movie with the bleach blonde.
Oh, I do like the bleach blonde. I thought it
because like you mentioned earlier, I just don't know that I think Bruce is that handsome. And like I would say the same thing about Samuel L. Jackson. Like he's a good looking guy. Both of them are good looking guys. But like I think Jeremy Irons at that age with the bleach blonde.
Yeah.
I'd rather look at you for a lifetime than either of the other two.
Yeah. He's Scar, man. I want Scar for life.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a bad looking old fella. I saw some pictures earlier while I was doing my research. Is that he's not an ugly old man. Yeah.
Who do you think gave the best performance in this movie?
I think it's got to be Samuel L. for me. Like he just really the same way that you said who plays Bruce in a recast. Who plays Samuel L. in a recast?
Yeah, it's so tough.
I think I can cast Bruce Willis easier than Samuel L.
See, I think I went the opposite. I think I cast Zeus easier than I did John McClane. I don't know.
I could find a young, bald, handsome man to run John McClane.
I couldn't. I tried, man.
He's at
Beans.
Oh, James McAvoy.
Oh yeah, he is a bald. You can do bald.
I put him down.
Oh, nice. All right.
Did you Split bald? Right.
Yes, Split and all.
And Magneto.
And Magneto, he could be bald. Yeah.
Yeah, I think James McAvoy could do it.
All right. Okay, we're on recasting now. Okay. Did you do any 95 recast? You can't recast John McClane. I don't think 95.
So for 95 recasts, I've got Gary Oldman as Simon.
Ooh, yeah, that's good.
And I was thinking about that because I was on that Slow Horses train of thought, and John McClane being. Have you seen any of Slow Horses?
I have not. I've heard it's good though.
Gary Oldman's an old cop running a unit. Like he farts a lot. And it's like that could be old John McClane. And this could be a Die Hard TV show.
Die Hard movie, yeah.
And his his team that he develops underneath. Tim Roth is McClane.
Okay. Okay.
I don't love it, but
It's tough.
Wesley-
This one was tough.
Wesley Snipes as Zeus.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I wrote Danny Glover as Zeus. I was just thinking of
Because
Lethal Weapon. Yeah. I
Yeah.
was just thinking of Lethal Weapon.
Which makes me think I don't have it written down. Donald Glover for a recast.
Yeah. I have a
2025.
guy, his name's Yahya Abdul Mateen II, for Zeus. You've seen him in a movie. I know you have. I think he would be a good Zeus.
Let's see. Candyman, Aquaman, Matrix, Us. That's what I've seen him in.
Yeah. I like that guy.
Yeah. I've got James McAvoy as McClane, Jamie Foxx as Zeus.
Jamie
Maybe.
Foxx. Oh yeah. Sorry, it took me a second to hear what
right.
you were saying.
And Christopher Waltz as Simon.
Ooh, yes. I love that.
German, right? Is Christopher Waltz German?
Yeah, it's something
Or is he just-
Austrian or something.
Yeah.
I think he might be. You could do Michael Fassbender as that guy too, because he can switch in and out of like German and Irish and all. He's good at that. I said Jeremy Irons has a son who's also an actor, Max Irons. It's his name.
Irons. Man, what a name!
I mean, very cool. He's almost 4. He's our age.
He's handsome.
He is very.
He reminds me of Franco's younger brother.
Yeah, he does have that look to him. He's interesting looking.
He's
But I
handsome.
was like, oh, we could put that guy. He could be Simon Gruber's son. Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun. Man, I was laughing at the very beginning because it was like a pretty sunset skyline. And it was like Die Hard, doom, with a vengeance, doom, doom. Man, I knew what I was in for.
I said Patrick Schwarzenegger as John McClane. He was in White Lotus recently, so he's kind of he was on my mind as being in there. I mean,
Ooh, he's a handsome guy. As Simon?
yeah, no, I've said as John McClane. I was trying to think of somebody like
Oh.
to be a young John McClane. I was like,
I think he could be a Simon too.
he could be a Simon. Yeah,
Man, there's some handsome guys.
there are
for
too
sure.
many handsome people. We need people that aren't. I'll say
What
it
we
more.
need, and hear me out, maybe two bad boys, is just a black Die Hard.
Oh, I'm for that.
Denzel as John McClane.
Man, wouldn't that have been good?
Yeah.
I mean,
Another universe, man. Maybe we'll get to live another life in another multiverse where
with
everything
Denzel
was
as
fair.
Bruce Willis.
Everything was fair, man.
Bring back normal looking people. Yeah, for real. All right, time for fun facts. This was the area where I was like, I gotta stop writing stuff down, but there were some really
quotes. I didn't just like quotes. I didn't write much down. I wrote down highest grossing. Sam L was excited. Closest character to Sam L's personality. He said at the time that his Zeus was like him. He just got to play himself, which is why I couldn't find anything. But I bet they let him improv a lot.
had to, and same with Bruce Willis. You just let that guy cook. Just let him
And
go.
like the only thing that I had from my mind, which is probably common knowledge, is the 2 bullets is from Die Hard 1. Like there's a point in Die Hard 1 where he's like, ah, shit, I've only got 2 bullets left. Fuck. And there's a lot of them. And then when that happened in that movie, I was like, everybody knows probably, but I'll write that down that the 2 bullets thing was
Yeah, it's
kind
from
of a
the-
shout out to the first one. That's all I wrote down. So
Yeah,
feed me.
we went over a couple of them. Like I said, this was originally supposed to be another movie called Simon Says, starring Brandon Lee. It ended up being a Die Hard movie after it was a Lethal Weapon movie. The subway scene where Zeus is held at gunpoint by the police officer is basically the exact same scene of Samuel L. Jackson as Frozone in The Incredibles, where he has to reach for something. He's like, I'm going to reach for the
Damn.
um
That's so crazy. I didn't think about
Yeah.
that. He's like, I gotta answer. You're gonna, if you're gonna. It reminded me of Ruth.
Yeah.
He's like, you're gonna have to kill me, but I'm gotta answer this phone.
Gotta answer this phone. Despite not being set at Christmas, it still references the Christmas. So many Christmas references in this movie. He says, he answers the phone by saying Simon, and Simon says, no, it's Santa Claus. The kids, when they're shoplifting, are like, it's Christmas. You could steal City Hall. McClane in the tunnel references the 8 reindeer and a jolly old fat guy. A lot of Christmas stuff. Partridge in a Pear Tree. Was Charlie. He said something about that. It's so many Christmas references.
I will never refer to it as a Christmas movie.
No, same.
The first one, absolutely, but not this one.
One of the things I picked up, and maybe it was, how John McClane realizes that those are the bad guys, and because of the badge number or whatever.
Yeah,
I kind of liked how the main guy that he was talking to kept saying things that were obviously not American. Like he said, it's going to rain like dogs and cats later. That's not the saying. Yeah. And then he refers to the elevator as a lift instead of an elevator. And I was like, yeah, this guy's not real. So I like.
They did a great job of casting those dudes. They definitely looked like German.
Yeah, they were all just German dudes.
German dudes with like flat tops.
The sex scene at the end of the movie that was just kind of shoehorned in there was added last minute because they knew that this was going to get an R rating, and they were like, might as well put a sex scene in. It wasn't even that good.
God,
show some dong or something. I love how
when they pull up on him and Samuel L. Jackson's like, I think you pissed her off.
How could you see that? Yeah, so dumb.
It gets so silly.
To steal all that gold, you actually need more than 14 dump trucks. You need 480 dump trucks to steal all that.
Yeah.
Also, didn't realize that a bar of gold is 25 pounds.
The only reason I would even think that is the videos where like you have of the people that
all the people that are trying to
and try to pull it out. It's so heavy you can't do that.
That's crazy. Like you need to have some serious dexterity there. Two more I have is when they were filming, they actually filmed in Harlem for that scene, and the I hate N-word sign was not on that sign at all. Nothing was on that sign. It was blank. It was blank, and it was CGI'd in post-production. In television broadcast,
much better with that than they did with the water.
In television broadcast, it says "I hate everybody," instead of N-word.
That's cool.
My final thing, and this is for all the people that are scientifically inclined or tried to figure out the water puzzle. There are 2 solutions to the water jug riddle in the park. The first one is you fill the 5-gallon jug, and then you pour that water into the 3-gallon jug, and that leaves 2 gallons in the big jug. Empty the 3-gallon jug and pour in the 2 gallons from the 5-gallon jug, leaving space for 1 gallon in the small jug. Refill the 5-gallon jug and pour water from it into the 3-gallon jug until the jug's full. The small jug's full. That leaves exactly 4 gallons in the big jug. Put that on the scale and the bomb is disarmed. And then there's the one that they did in the movie, which is fill the 3-gallon jug and pour the water into the 5-gallon jug, refill the 3-gallon jug, pour it into the 5-gallon jug until the jug is full, leaving 1 gallon in the small jug. Empty that big jug and then transfer the 1 gallon from the small jug to the big jug and refill the small jug and pour all 3 gallons into the 5-gallon jug, resulting in 4 gallons in the big jug. It's too much.
My brother is around if some shit like that ever happens.
Oh, yeah. That's immediately who I thought. I was like, Joseph would know how to do this immediately.
And it's going to happen to me. I'm like, God damn it, Joseph.
I immediately thought of Joseph. It was like, he can do this. Friend. I would have been like, nah, let's just let these kids die. Yeah. They did the first one, though. Okay. I don't remember which one they did. I just know they got it. Okay, that's it. That's all I've got for fun facts.
That was super fun.
I had the most fun. Like a fine wine and dish, if you could pair this movie with another movie for a double feature, what would you choose?
Lethal Weapon, The Other Guys, Rush Hour, Hot Fuzz, or 21 Jump Street.
Ooh, I like that. I said Speed,
Yes.
Commando, True Lies is a good one.
Yes.
And then I picked Loaded Weapon, which is a National Lampoon's parody of Lethal Weapon with Emilio Estevez and Samuel L. Jackson. Loaded Weapon is great.
Sounds like something that would be on Tubi.
Oh yeah, gotta be on Tubi. On a scale,
Oh, I remember seeing the cover of
it's
this.
so funny. It's so stupid.
Man, with the coach from Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, Emilio.
Yeah, that's Emilio.
On a scale of 1 to 5, how likely are you to rewatch this movie?
I think I'm being nice to say a 2.
Yeah, I think I'd said 2.5 is what I would say on my rewatch for this, because if
Here's
it were
the only excuse, right?
yeah,
I'll let you say it.
no, I was gonna say if the first half of this movie, I would rewatch the first half of this movie, and
The
then
only way I'm watching this movie again is if I'm watching through all of them.
yeah,
I'm not. Otherwise, it's a 0.
Mm,
If this is not like a 5 movie thing,
yeah,
I'll watch the first one 10 times before I watch this one again.
yeah, and I think that's usually what people would say. Although people love this, they think this is the best sequel of the.
I
of
was
the franchise.
surprised when you read Ebert's review.
And he did it so high.
Yeah, and that's what I wonder sometimes, if we've just been so spoiled by all of our 4K.
Yeah,
We're so adjusted to such, a high level of CGI and effects that when you see something like that, it's laughable.
mm-hmm.
But back in '95, it was like,
That was cool looking.
bad.
Yeah,
That was cool. I didn't.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that. Yeah, I mean, it honestly though, there were things that maybe that's a great point in chat, because Hans Gruber falling in the first one is the same way.
yeah,
Like,
doesn't look great.
The climax of the movie, when he kills the bad guy, it's like he slow-mo is falling off what Nakatomi Plaza. And it's bad, man. It's bad.
Yeah.
Now, at least.
People love these movies, though. They love them.
Yeah.
Now, if you could rate the movie 1 to 5 stars, would you give it?
So that's where I still can say it's a 3.
That's what I gave it, as a 3.
Because
It was fun.
I would, and I even gave it a 2 on rewatchability, because it's like, you watch how good the first third of this movie is, man. It's fucking great. Watch how they mess up the first third of this movie.
Yeah. And maybe like you've seen them, like you've seen Die Hard and everything, but like he said, chat and said, like, they're pretty wacky too. But like, if you just go with the beginning of part of this movie and make it a fun, like almost like a Riddler trying to figure out all these puzzles and,
Yeah.
race against time, and it's just a revenge movie, I still think it's a great Die Hard movie. If I think it's good, but I gave it a 3.
Will any of these movies like be in my top 100?
No,
Not a chance.
no.
Yeah. And that's worth, to me, it's staying a 3 because that's left for the 4s and 5s, right?
Yeah. 3s are my movies where I'm like, yeah, I had a good time watching that, but I probably won't rewatch it for anytime.
If someday I'm watching back through the series, absolutely, I'll put it back on, because it reminds me of like Saw.
Yeah.
Do I love the Saw series? Man,
No.
Was it fun watching through all of them? Kind of.
Yeah. It was something to do.
It was something to do. And so, like, if somebody was like, man, I've never seen any of the Die Hards. Or if we were hanging out on a weekend and you were like, you know what? I think it's Die Hard weekend.
It's a Die Hard weekend. It's time to pop my cherry.
I'm not going to fight number 3.
Well, Steven, thank you so much for doing this with me. But before we wrap up, have you watched any movies recently that you would recommend to people?
I mean, I think it's been said that Sinners is awesome.
Sinners, yeah.
Sinners is so good. I don't think I watched much. I watched Chef I'd never seen that movie before. I thought it was kind of it's been in a lot of lists. I feel like on Letterboxd and stuff.
Didn't like it?
Wasn't for me.
I haven't seen it in 10 plus years.
I thought it was, it was kind of cool. I could flash back to, when Twitter was new and not X and things, like social media was at a different phase before it has full blown taken over. But I just, in the same way that maybe the cable and the bridge scene felt in this movie, it was like, so he's supposed to be dating Scarlett Johansson and married to the lady from Modern Family.
Yeah, Sofia Vergara. Yeah.
Are they going to show his wiener in this? That was my reaction to shit. Like, I almost wrote a Letterboxd review. It was like, are they going to show his wiener in this movie?
How does he keep doing this?
Yeah, because I need to do whatever.
He must cook really good food, man.
A few others, I think. I did Mr. Holland's Opus. I don't know. So I think it's been since then that I think like The Brutalist more than most people. So if you're one of those people who's heard that The Brutalist is too long and not worth your time, I would challenge that. It is too long. There's about 30 minutes of sex stuff that is completely unnecessary and could be chopped out of the movie, and it would make it almost a perfect movie, in my opinion. I also really like Mickey 17.
Yeah, I liked Mickey 17 too. That was good.
Man, what a great job by him. Like it not my favorite movie, and I thought could have been a little bit better if some things were different, but I thought Robert was great. Yeah. In the same way, I would make Sinners and Mickey 17 a pairing, because I think both Michael B. Jordan and Robert Pattinson did a great job of playing two different characters.
That's a good pairing.
If not, Robert Pattinson played 17?
Yeah.
18
different versions of himself. Yeah. It's pretty good. I like that movie, and I
worth
think
your time for sure.
I think with movies like that, in Sinners, even like their original takes on things that, original stories.
Like Sinners.
Yeah, original stories, and like obviously it's like, it's a horror movie, vampire, all that stuff. Like we've seen those things before, but it's an original take on it. And people want original movies. I swear to you, they could be even not great. They just want something original, and then they'll be happy with them.
Yeah. And Sinners, I will be surprised if I see anything better this year than Sinners.
Yeah.
Because on my personal list, it was a 22 out of 25.
Damn.
It was a 4.5, almost a perfect movie.
Yeah.
But if they had brought back the Native Americans in the post-credit scenes, I think it would have been a 5 for me. But sometimes when you bring in such a strong aspect of a story, like we've talked about in this movie, and you don't come back to it, it's like that was such a good thing that you
tell me more about that thing.
Did that get edited out, or am I gonna have to watch the director's cut to understand why they didn't stumble upon all those white dudes' bodies at the end of Sinners, and we're like, well, we tried to warn them. That would have been good. In the same way you said Mr. Holland's Opus, he raises the thing into the movie. Like, that's a great way to make the movie quite a bit better.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
Yeah.
I honestly,
you seen anything?
I haven't really watched that much. I watched. I kind of got back on my kick of watching through a lot of the Disney movies from the beginning. So I watched Cinderella this week. I hadn't seen Cinderella in probably 30 years or so. But as I was watching it, I was like singing along. I was like, oh yeah, this part and this part. But I did have to turn on the subtitles because I could not understand what those mice were saying. And I do not remember it being that bad. But yeah.
You know what makes me really excited?
What's that?
Is that this week we'll go see a movie together.
That's true. We're gonna go see a movie together.
Yeah. So next
love
time
that.
we're on together, we'll be able to talk about how 28 years later was.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch the first 2 this week in preparation.
Man. Get ready for some nightmares, baby.
The other thing I've watched, we've watched a lot of like comedy specials. We actually saw some live comedy this weekend. Kelsey Cook, who has Hulu or YouTube special out. I think she's got 2 specials. One's on YouTube, and then I think her other one is also YouTube or Hulu. But Kelsey Cook's very funny. Atsuko Okatsuka, she's got another one. She's been on a couple of those. I've seen
like
her
the
live.
main page on like Hulu right now.
We watched that last
really
night.
Funny.
We watched Mateo Lane this past week, and then he had a new one, and then Ryan Hamilton was an old one, and that looks like Pennywise the Clown doing stand-up comedy. So just a lot of comedy this week, but I've got to watch a lot of movies coming up. And everybody can get more information about all the movies that we're watching or excited about or talk about those by joining our Discord server. And you're also welcome to follow us on Instagram and check out the account on Letterboxd, my account on Letterboxd. You should have seen those in the socials, things that has been passing by. Because I will be traveling this weekend for reasons. We're going to do next week's movie, which is GoldenEye, of the 007 James Bond movie. The first of the Pierce Brosnan series. We're going to continue our theme of explosives and expletives on Thursday, June 26th. And that is because we have the music on Tuesday, and I've got my extra credit one next Wednesday, which is called Indie Darlings, where all 4 of our films are indie movies that caught a lot of love during that year, including the movie Party Girl, Safe, The Brothers McMullen, and Kicking and Screaming. And that will be Wednesday, June 25th at 6 p.m. And then, like I said, on the music one, join us this coming Tuesday at 6 p.m. Because we're going to talk about Garbage's self-titled album. That'll be Tuesday at 6. That's it. Anything else?
GoldenEye is when I knew that I needed to marry a redhead named Natalia.
Oh, yeah. What a pull. What a good pull. And you did it.
You did it, man. We did.
I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
We did it. We did it together.
We did. We married Natalia together.
We did it.
Well, okay. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next time on 52/1995. Bye-bye. Outro.
What a year, what a time. Big screens, dreams, a movie rewind. From talking toys to heists gone wrong. We're watching it live and singing along. 52/1995. Grab some snacks, we're going live. Action, drama, comedy gold. We're reliving the stories told.
One movie a week, all year long. Let's roll the tape.